Well, welcome, or should I say bonjour to France. Myself and Big Dar Pierce are out at Bay Lakes. We came out with the full intention of filming a nice big biopic film. However, we don't know how the whole week's going to turn out. We've come out third in the draw out of 3. And the swim that we're in, or the area we're in, should I say, has been pretty devoid of fish for the last couple of weeks. And not only is that area devoid, area 1 down the bottom corner where Tom and Reese drew is stacked with fish. It's not excuses. However, what we're going to do, we ain't going to bore you with good morning, good evening, good night every single day, because we think we're going to be scratching for bites. So what we're going to do is get you into the video, so welcome. And then hopefully the next thing you'll see is one of myself, Mudar, with a fish out of this sort of zone 3. So I don't want to sound defeatist at all. We are going to work our heads off for it. And that's what we do when we fish in France, is work, work, work. Dad's got a bit of history on the venue, so fingers crossed that pays off for us. But we are fully aware we are off the fish. So we're not going to bore you with loads of bits and pieces. If we catch them, you will see us. And hopefully if we do catch a few, we'll go through some baits and rigs and bits and pieces like that. If not, this could be the start and the end of the vlog, but hopefully not. Let's say a full week down at Bay Lakes to try and conjure up some magic. Well, certainly not the giants that live in this lake, but it's a start yet again on that slippery D-rig, the old blowback slip D-rig. But yeah, as I said, certainly not the beast of the east, but when we've had no fish up in front of us, to see one, drop the bait on it and get rewarded, this is the start, hopefully, of things to come for the rest of the trip.
Morning. So following on from John's bite yesterday, after patiently leaving the rods out for the first few days, as John said, was miles away from the fish. It was just hoping that they'd move into the clear area where we'd left the lines out. And this cracking 41-pound common from Bay Lakes proves that again we've made a few right choices. Hopefully we can keep the bites coming and catch a few of the bigger ones, which I know full well are in here from previous trips. So I'll get some pictures and slip this old girl back.
The plan slowly coming together. We've talked about this plan time and time again. Put the bait in and let the fish come. The warm weather and the wind changing direction has massively helped us. There is no denying that. But at 45 pounds, no, what was it? 45 pounds. So at 45 pound 14 ounces, this is one of the biggest of the trip so far. Absolutely buzzing. So I've got to give it off to Dar. You know, I keep mentioning it, but he has worked and worked and worked. And we are starting to see the rewards, a few of the bigger ones, just as he went into dark, down with that 40, and then this one, absolutely over the moon, absolutely over the moon. Right.
Could you possibly get a brighter start to the Thursday? After John's chunky common last night, it was quiet on all rods. They turned up again this morning, and wow, look at that. Gorgeous fish, not everyone's cup of tea. but I don't mind the odd one every now and then. Ultra nut, keeping the bites coming. Hopefully they turn up again in numbers today and we can pick through them and get some of the big ones. There we go, just a smidgen under £40 of Bay Lakes mirror carp. Change of tactics today. We have managed a few fish, mainly a few smaller ones up to £28, starting to get bigger again. So the plan has paid off. Fish are showing all over us, so there's probably a few more to come. We'll let you know how the night goes.
As with every carp video, I mean, it'd be absolutely pointless if we just tell you the rigs we're using. I'm not going to tie them up, not going to bore anyone with that. But it is a rig that I've started to use at the start of the year, really. And yeah, it's done right for me, to be honest. And it has held dead strong here. I'm not going to say I name it anything at all, but as a Mickey tape, we call it the slippery dickory kickery rig, because it's a slip D, combi, kicker rig. And that's as simple as it is. Bit of fluorocarbon, bit of braid doubled over to create a blowback sort of slip D rig, and then just a nice bit of silicone tubing, shrink tubing, bent down into an angle to make a long sort of kicker, and then a size 6 wide gape. And it doesn't get simpler. I've been using D rigs for years and years and years, and I love the way that wafters sit off the back of the hooks and all that lot, but I was just thinking I need something with a little bit more movement. And it's certainly not a rig I created by any stretch of the imagination. I've seen a few of the big names using it, and I just adapted it using the components I've got my hands on to create something I'm really happy with. And it's, you know, done fish to mid-40 in the UK. It's done all the fish I've had here on my sets of rods. And it's as simple as that. Something with a little bit of movement, a little bit of flexibility, stiffness to stand away from the helicopter setup I'm using. And then just by doubling over that braid, there's enough flexibility to move the rig around, but also enough strength and sort of stiffness, if you like, of that braid to kick it back away. So yeah, the flippery dickory kickery rig, I do not think it's called that. Before anyone starts commenting below, it's just a combination of materials on a slip D rig, and it's caught me loads of good fish, which I'm really happy with. So, as I say, we've done bait, we've done rigs, hopefully we've seen loads of nice carp, and fingers crossed, as the rest of the trip carries on, there are more for you to see. So, a bit of an unexpected one this. The lads on Lake 1 were booked to leave on Friday. So, Dar's seen a few fish right down in the bottom corner of a different lake on the complex. We've come down, and within an hour we've had one, mate. Absolutely over the moon. It's been a bit of a slow drag on that other lake, purely just because we were off the fish. But yeah, an hour in the right place, as they say, is better than nearly a week in the wrong. But yeah, great week down at Bay Lakes. And we're going to stay until tea time and probably pop down for an hour after tea here. Bit romantic, no scales, no weights. Literally just all for the enjoyment of catching these awesome French fish down at Bay Lakes.
So we're going to take you through the baiting approach we used during the trip. As we explained, my hand in the draw bag, shocking. Ended up last out, rubbish area. So me and John come up with a plan. We pick a few zones, one big spot, as close to the boundary as we could get, absolutely fill it in. Not fish for 2-3 days, well, as long as it took to see fish in our area, which has paid off. We've managed to rustle a few bites together, a few nice fish. So I'm just going to take you through now what we used. Basically, kilos and kilos of ultra nut, lots and lots and lots of ultra nut. The maize, the fishery cell, the pellet, and we've been dousing it with a massive helping of the amino C3 liquid and the ultra nut liquid. And it's just been a waiting game. Hard work, but like I say, we've managed to rustle up a few bites, and hopefully you'll enjoy some of the footage we've got for you. There we go, 43-pound cracking common. As John said, we moved on to Lake 1 with the guys leaving early. There were so many fish showing, I just couldn't leave them. 2 bites now, within as many hours, still fish showing. Hopefully we can nick that big one, there's plenty in there. House maize, little Ronnie rigs fished over the top, PPM pop-ups doing the damage. These big commons, just love them.
Right, well, as we've said from the start, this has been a completely different vlog. We haven't wanted to bore you really, and to be honest, as I said, that first couple of days wasted trying to get the fish to us, and then we had that one day where it absolutely kicked off, and since then it's been scratch, scratch, scratch. However, the guys on the lake we're now sat on, that you've seen the fish already, had left. So we came down earlier, said had those 2 fish up to that low 40 for dar, which is exactly what we needed to do. Come in, pinch a few. Sat at dinner, we're like, we need to go back. So the sleeping bags are under the stars tonight. Back at base camp is still an absolute mess. So we're going to fish here till sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, pack down up there, tie both camps away essentially. But yeah, it has been a little bit of a sporadic one, back and forth. We haven't wanted to bore you because it hasn't been a week full of action, but hopefully you've seen loads of cracking fish, and there is still this night left to come. So if anything happens, you'll see us. If not, thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next adventure, but plenty more fish hopefully tonight. Well, after that magical sunset and us saying something special could happen tonight, an awesome upper 30-pound, 37 ounces mirror. But what a fish. This could come from anywhere in UK. Fought like an absolute animal from the second I picked up the rod. I said this is a big one or a beast. And to me, 37 pound of angry male is a beast. Blown away. Yet again, the old flippery dippery kickery rig. Little waft over, loads and loads of ultra nuts still giving them into on the new lake, and these fish seem to be up for a feed a little bit more. What a fish, blown away. Dad back on the rods. Who knows what the rest of the last night on Bay Lake can produce. Buzzing. Unfortunately, nothing else happened through the rest of the night. And with an early get up and 2 camps to pack down, we just had to get on the road. Yes, it took our time, but we got some rewards.